Okay, we are now here with the new City. This is the City RS and we really like it. We just took it on the track. We kind of tossed it around, we threw it left, we threw it right. It's a very comfortable car. We kind of forget that this car was many years ago a tiny little car meant for the city. Okay, the nice thing about this City is that it reminds us of the City from like 15 years ago. Kind of a no-frills car, but it had all the things you needed in terms of it actually had handling, it had a good amount of power. And this car reminds me a lot of how I felt about that car. It was a car before that I would choose over some larger cars just because of the way it felt. And I have the same feeling about this car. We took it on the track. We ran it through what you would normally have in a city, and we were doing fast lane changes, and it's very, very predictable. The reason we focus on lane changes is because this type of a car is a car that you would buy, let's say, for a first-time driver, or you would buy it if your kid goes off to school, goes off to college, and nowadays you can't take any public transportation. So the question is, why would you go to this? And the answer is because it's just a great holistic package. And that's the nice thing about Honda. Everything just kind of matches, everything just kind of works. You might not even notice it because you don't pay attention to the details because they just all work. So this is the new City. It's the new 5th generation City, and we've seen the City grow just like we've seen all the cars grow. It's got some pretty good trunk space, like 500 plus liters of trunk space. So to me, it's kind of odd because I keep thinking of this as an old Civic in terms of how it feels, in terms of how it makes me feel. It is true to the idea of the City from the very beginning, which is a nice, tight city car, and yet it is not punishing on longer drives or higher speeds. It's quite pleasant. It's going to be nothing at all at up to highway speeds. So here we are. What do we like about this car? This is not one of the big fancy dashboards. It's very simple. That's not even a color readout. Not a big deal to me. It's perfectly clear. I can see it exactly. It gives me the information I need. This is actually kind of nice. What I really like, I like the fact that you have an actual manual mechanical handbrake. So we are here with the Honda City RS. It's a 1.5 liter engine matched to a CVT, which Honda does very well. We like, number one, it's got a massively cool turning circle. This is just one quick turn. There you go. This is what Paula did. We'll do a 1 finger turning radius. And there you go. So it is a good city car. That was just 1 finger. It handles well. It's, you know, it's an electronic steering. It doesn't have a lot of feedback, but it goes exactly where you want it to. And this is one thing we like when you get up to like 60 and start doing sudden lane changes. It's stable. It's so stable. It's so nice. That's the nice thing about this car is that it's just really light. Here's one thing, and this got me. This is actually very close to you. Okay, so you got to get used to that. I'm not used to having that right up to me. In the car that I'm driving today, for example, that's further forward. So, but it's not intrusive. Okay, it's just something you got to get used to. There's actually a lot of space. It doesn't feel like you're in like a little mini car or something. Everything's within reach. I like the fact that it has knobs for the air conditioning. It doesn't have knobs for the stereo, but at least it has buttons, which is better than some of the cars we've tested to have. Okay, we're at 80 now, and we do this. At 80, you feel that the back of the car is kind of wavering. At 60, you didn't feel it. It was very tight. At 80, you feel the car kind of goes like this, okay? A little bit. Remember, this is a front-wheel drive car. All the weight's towards the front, so that the fact that the back of this car is a little bit frisky isn't really an issue. Plus, it has stability systems in place anyway, which we think are extremely important nowadays. All cars should have, if they don't have, they should have anti-lock brake systems and electronic brake force distribution. The previous cars, when you had a problem and you had to brake hard, you could lock up. In this case, it doesn't. The car brakes on its own. That was not a hard brake. I'll do a hard brake now from, like, let's say, I'll do it from 60. Okay, hard brake. Okay, that still wasn't the hardest brake. Nothing locked up. Okay, point being, cars shouldn't be hitting other cars now. The problem now is that if you slam the brakes hard at 80 to 100, you can fishtail. You can even fishtail as low as 30 or 40, which we have proven in a previous video with another car. it can be dangerous. If you do a hard lane change, even as low as 40 to 60, you can fishtail. These cars have the systems that prevent that, and that is good. I would bet this car will be positioned as the premium car for this segment, because the premiumness will not be coming from all the bells and whistles. It will be coming from the fact that you have the stability of a company like Honda behind it. But what I do care about is how the car is holistically packaged as a vehicle that just works right. You don't have to think, because they've done the thinking for you. Little things that you might pay attention to in other cars, you just don't pay attention to because Honda has sorted them out. So who is this car for? This is kind of the no-brainer car for your kid going to school, or for you okay, we keep think it's gonna be a kid going to school. I would take this car as an everyday drive, no question. I like the size. It is smaller than the modern Civic, so you will feel that. It just comes down to, do you need that much space? So this car is actually kind of all you need. Yeah, who's the car for? The car could be for me, the car could be for my daughter, the car could be for my son, the car could be for my wife. It's a very flexible car. It's a car you're gonna have for the next 10 years easily. Chris says I said Civic. I think I said City, so we have to do the whole thing over again because Chris isn't listening. Okay. Okay, the Civic RS behind us is the City behind us. The City RS behind us is okay. For what color is this, Chris?